Bro, they just brought back Spyro. They just brought back Spyro. Oh my god, 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 oh my god.
Oh my god! Wow!
This is the best news I've received all of 2026 so far. We got a Spyro game trailer before GTA 6. Ain't that crazy? Anyways, let's go on ahead and dive right in. What's up, Zonies? Thank you for joining me today. My name is Bly the Artist, and welcome to my first video segment called the Blyzone.
Yay!
This is a safe space I created for those who want to hang out, have fun drawing cool stuff, and a little occasional learning, so welcome. Today we're drawing our boy Spyro the Dragon. Yeah, that guy. That purple thing right there. He's this little purple dragon that became one of the most iconic video game characters growing up. If you ever grew up playing the PlayStation, that's where he's from. He saves dragons, collects treasure, breathes fire, and honestly, he's just awesome. All right, guys, let's get started. So the first thing I'm gonna do is lock in my sketch, and I'll check in with you guys soon. Welcome back, guys. So we finished our sketch, and I also took the extra step in refining our line art. Usually when I begin the painting process, I like to start by adding in all of the base colors involved in the illustration. One tool that I love to use is the wand tool because it allows you to select your object, and now you can paint within the selected area. Easy, right? Now, to select the wand tool, you can press the hotkey W. Then right-click and choose Select Inverse so that you are painting within the object. Also, quick note, always triple check to make sure that the object you are selecting is enclosed, in other words, no exposed openings in the line art. Finally, before selecting your object, I recommend placing your base color layer under your sketch layer. That way when you're ready to paint, it's behind the line art. And now, we can start adding in our base colors. Be back in a flash, folks. My favorite part, values. Most artists love to start by applying shadow first, but I like to work in reverse. In this case, I start with lighting. For me, I feel like it's important to establish your source of light first before you can cast a shadow, right? Right? So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I decided to place my light source slightly above and in front of Spyro's face, so it can allow me to properly apply my toning on Spyro's skin in accordance to my source of light. And now that we have our light source locked in, we can go on ahead and continue, and I will check back with you soon. Let's go. That boy Spyro is starting to look spiffy, guys. Ooh. Better than this abomination. All right, we've officially reached the final render. This is the stage where everything starts coming together. One thing I love doing during the final render is adding a subtle background or environment. Not only does it help the character feel more immersive, but it also creates a sense of atmosphere without taking attention away from the main subject. This is where you can really start pushing your tones, values, and lighting to create more depth and visual interest. It's also the perfect opportunity to sprinkle in those small little details that help tell a story and bring your illustration to life.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
So anyways, enough talking, let's crank up the heat and finish this illustration with a blast. And there we have it. Our boy Spyro is officially done. Now, I don't know about you guys, but after staring at purple scales for the last few hours, I'm pretty sure I qualify as an honorary dragon at this point.
Stop it. Get some help.
If you enjoyed hanging out with me today, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments who is your favorite video game character of all time. Thank you guys so much for watching, and remember, stay creative, stay awesome, and don't trust anyone named Moneybags. I'll catch you guys later. Peace!